Assalamu alaikum, girls. Today our topic will be levels of organization. But before proceeding to levels of organizations, I think I have to cover the scientist Ali Sina, which I don't know how I skipped to enter in the slide. Basically, I typed these things, then I don't know how I deleted that. But leaving those things aside, um, let's talk about Ali Sina. He was born in 980 AD and died in 1037 AD. He was the famous scientist of medicine. He was the founder of medicine and called as Avicenna in the West. Avicenna is the word came from Bu Ali Sina. Avicenna means son of Sina. In West में this scientist is known as Avicenna, son of Sina. और ठीक है, Ibn Sina or Sina का बेटा था ये शायद. That's why he is named as Avicenna in the West. He was a physician, philosopher, astronomer, and poet. It is the same thing which I was talking in the previous lecture, that Muslim scientists were the one who were philosopher, astronomer, and mathematician or a biologist at the same time, which seems very interesting to us. They never limited themselves to one field, but I feel these days knowledge is so immense or so diverse that we limit ourselves to one category. But if someone wants to be um, pro in many fields, can do masters in different fields, and even can be a scientist of all different fields, but you have to be very dynamic in that aspect. So one of his famous books is Al-Qanun fi al-Tib, which is known as Canon of Medicine in the West. Canon of Medicine, this canon is not like top, उसमें double N है, CANNON is actually the top, but Urdu में top कहते हैं. But this canon is principles of medicine or knowledge of medicine or the basic principle of medicine in the West, or a whole booklet of principles of medicine. So he was so good in medicine that his book Al-Qanun fi al-Tib was considered as basic principles of medicine, right? So these are the basic contributions of him in biology. Otherwise, he has contributed in many branches of sciences. So let's move to the topic. Our today's topic is level of organization. Acha, this is a very good topic because in our time, we haven't studied this topic. We were studying level randomly, we molecular level or cell. We were studying it randomly, and about individual level and population level and community level. We were studying it in park studies or social studies in a random way, and in biology. You also have studied it in individual, community, and population level. But this is a very organized level that you will understand how the levels are organized. Like atomic level, atom consists of electrons, protons, and neutrons, and then is called as cell. Is called as a cell, especially the nucleus. I'm sorry, yeah, I forgot what I'm trying to say. Here, nucleus in atom is a combination of proton and neutrons, while the nucleus of cell, here, this yellow one, nucleus, or there in this diagram, nucleus, ouch, nucleus of a cell. I used to discriminate it as cell of chemistry and cell of biology, because it was confusing for me that this nucleus is made up of protons and neutrons, and the nucleus in the biology is a different thing, because उसमें nucleolus भी होता है और उसमें chromosomes होते हैं. कुछ समझ आ रही है what I'm trying to say? At that time I used to get confused. So मैंने chemistry का nucleus और बायो का न्यूक्लियस सेपरेट किया हुआ था, which is quite funny, which seems quite funny to me now, because atom is the smallest level of organization. ये जो मैं सबसे पहले आपको लेवल पढ़ाऊंगी, the smallest level of organization is subatomic and atomic level. ठीक है? In this world, the smallest level of organization is atom, which consists of electrons, protons, and neutrons. Hamza, please, Samoshi say. But then these atoms join together to make molecules. Okay? Molecules are a combination of different things, and then after molecule, I'll tell you organelles. Different molecules combine together to become organelles, and different organelles performing different functions assemble together to become cell. Now, this cell comes under the heading of biology, although this is also biology, but this is a more microscopic level. So what I'm trying to say is that atomic level consists of subatomic particle, is the smallest level of organization, and different atoms joining together to become molecule assembling together to become organelles assembling in a particular way becomes cell. This one, animal cell, I'm talking about here. Animal cell or plant cell, right? So after that, we are going to study different cells assembling together to make tissues. वो हम पढ़ेंगे. Tissues of different types join together to become organ level, like stomach, brain, small intestine, large intestine, or many organs. Organs assemble together. Similar organs make organ system, like digestive system, nervous system, reproductive system. All these systems together makes individual, and all different individuals, like me is an individual, but all the individual of the same type, humans of the same type, let's say, in the world becomes a population. But different population of animals becomes community, as a community of a jungle, and different communities living together on earth becomes biosphere. So we are going to study these levels one by one, but I'm trying to tell you here is that do not be confused from the nucleus of atom to the nucleus of animal cell, this one, because it's a different level. This is not, you're not going to discriminate as nucleus of an nucleus of biology and nucleus of chemistry. No, this nucleus is the smallest level of organization, which is subatomic and atomic level. Now, girls, I'm going to go into the detail of these levels one by one. So, starting from the first level of organization, subatomic and atomic level. All types of matter are made up of elements, and elements contain a single kind of atoms. How many elements are there in nature? If you have studied periodic table, almost 118 elements exist in nature. Not in nature, some of them are artificial. I will tell you later on. Out of them, 92 here. 92 kind of elements are existing in nature, but rest of the minus करें 118 में से 92, तो तकरीबन 28 कर लें, 18 और 26 कर लें, या जो भी. Almost 26 elements are existing in lab environment. They are not existing naturally. So in periodic table, you are going to study, or you have studied, almost 118 elements, out of which 92 are existing in nature. So elements and a different kind of elements. But let's say these elements are made up of single atoms. Let's say sodium atom. नमक जो है हमारे घर में नमक की बोतल, it consists of trillions of atoms of sodium and chloride, sodium and chlorine, because salt is made up of sodium chloride. Sodium को अगर consider किया जाए तो sodium is a single atom. In that bottle of salt, there are two elements, sodium and chlorine. But अगर पूरी bottle को देखो तो उसमें trillions of atoms होंगे of sodium and chlorine. But the elements are of two types, only two. Trillions of atoms हैं, लेकिन the elements are of two types, sodium and chlorine. I think you're getting my point here. If you're not, kindly tell me in questions. ठीक है? Atom meaning, if you divide the word atom, A means not, term means cut. So this word is derived from a thing that it's not cuttable, it's not breakable. The combination of atom, which is made up of electrons, protons, and neutrons. If you know, the neutrons here and protons exist in the center and like a balls assembling together, then it is called as nucleus. I repeat, there are balls of neutrons and protons in the center called as nucleus, and electrons are revolving around the nucleus in a three-dimensional phase. Look at these yellow orbits. Electrons are revolving in these orbits. It's called as atom. This is all about atom. Oops. I repeat, protons and neutrons are residing in the nucleus, while electrons are revolving around the nucleus. Is called as atom. These are subatomic particles, electrons, protons, and neutrons. So all of them together makes atom, which is not a separable thing. But you know, we can separate electrons and protons and neutrons somehow. But this is the smallest level of organization which scientists have discovered up till now. Even we cannot observe atom in the electron microscope. We can just observe it, I think, in a very specialized condition, but not parently. Scientists have discovered it from its properties. देखा नहीं है, इसकी properties से discover किया. So the most stable particles are electron, proton, and neutrons. And I told you earlier that there are 92 kind of elements occurring in nature. मतलब ज़मीन के पर, अर्थ में, पहाड़ों में, gems में, different elements are existing. But out of 92, there are only 16 bioelements. Bioelements means the elements which are existing in living organisms are only 16 in number. So astonishing. And these 16 elements are making our whole body. These are making the whole mass of living organisms, which is quite, amazing. Imagine this variety of life is only made up of 16 elements. See how tremendous and how superb our creator is. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, Subhanallah al-Azim. That we are so complex and diverse, and if we consider about marine life, it's rich in biodiversity. I might show you some video relevant to marine life. You can also search it on YouTube. The variety is so immense and it is only made up of 16 elements. I am dumbstruck, literally. When I'm telling you, I'm expressing my feelings. मेरे goosebumps बन रहे हैं. इतनी variety और सिर्फ 16 bioelements. Literally, Allah की शान है. Out of these bioelements, only 6, again, look, another astonishing thing, okay, in bioelements, only 6 are making 99% of the total mass. Although they are combining in a variety of ways, in thousands of different ways, but only 6 elements are involved in making 99% of the total mass, and rest of the 10 elements are making 1% of the total mass. Like, I mean to say, 6 are making 99% of हमारी body, मेरी body का, अगर मुझे सिर्फ consider किया जाए, me as a human, 99% of me is oxygen, carbon, hydrogen. I'm here, okay? Nitrogen, calcium, and phosphorus. Oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, phosphorus. I'm just mentioning the symbols. And the rest of the 10 atoms or elements are making only 1% of total mass. I'm sorry, मेरी बॉडी का 99% ये 6 एलिमेंट बना रहे हैं, और 1% ऑफ द टोटल मास सिर्फ ये 10 एलिमेंट्स बना रहे हैं. कौन से? द फर्स्ट वन, पोटेशियम, सल्फर, क्लोरीन, सोडियम, मैग्नीशियम, आयरन, कॉपर, manganese, zinc, iodine. Because you have to learn these elements, but learning them in sequence will make it easier. I mean, जो इस तरह की चीज़ें होती हैं जिनका कोई कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं होता, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, तो वो लर्निंग है ना. बच्चे लोग कहते हैं रट्टा. आई से लर्निंग, आपको लर्न करना है. हर चीज़ रट्टा नहीं होती. रट्टा वो होता है जो आप समझे बगैर याद कर रहे हो. यहाँ पर आपने लर्न करना है, बट यहाँ पर लर्निंग टेक्निक चलेगी, टू लर्न इट इन सीक्वेंस. समझ तो लिया ना आपने. अब नाम याद करने हैं, तो नाम इज अ लर्निंग टेक्निक, याद करना. तो आप क्या करेंगे, सीक्वेंस में याद करेंगे, ऑक्सीजन, कार्बन, हाइड्रोजन, सोडियम, कैल्शियम, फास्फोरस. या कोई नाम उर्दू में बना लें इसमें से. मेरे लिए बनाना मुश्किल हो रहा है तो मैं वो बता नहीं पा रही, बट यू आर गोइंग टू लर्न इट इन सीक्वेंस. पोटेशियम, सल्फर, क्लोरीन, सोडियम, मैग्नीशियम. पहले 5 याद कर लें, फिर आखिरी 5 याद कर लें. आयरन, कॉपर, मैंगनीज, जिंक, आयोडीन. यानी पहले 5 पोटेशियम, सल्फर, क्लोरीन, सोडियम, मैग्नीशियम, और आखिरी 5 आयरन, कॉपर, मैंगनीज, जिंक, आयोडीन. ओके, so these are all making the body mass. Look at this pie chart. I found it on net according to our book, but थोड़ा सा different है. 65% of human body, my body, is made up of oxygen, and 18% of my body is made up of carbon. 10% of our body, or my body, is made up of hydrogen, and 3% of my body is made up of nitrogen. बाकी यहाँ पर लिखा हुआ है everything else is 4%, but no, in your book the rest of the percentage is of calcium, phosphorus, and other. Calcium consists of 2% of your body mass, phosphorus 1%, and other 10 elements are only present 1% in your body. The rest of the 10 elements are making 10% of body mass. So this is all about bioelements. We are mainly made up of 6 elements. So this is what bioelements is. Let's move to the next slide. Molecular level, yes. Now I'm moving to the second level of organization. I have told you what is atomic and subatomic level. Now what is a molecule? We have studied it in chemistry. We are recalling. A molecule in chemistry is different from a molecule in biology. Now you're going to say, what is this, ma'am? But chemistry and bio both are existing in nature. Let me tell you the difference. I am going to tell you the definition of chemistry, and they are also existent in biology. Existing, water, oxygen, and all this exists in biology. But a biomolecule is different. Look at the diagrams. How much different? I have to explain. Let's recall. A molecule is the smallest part of a compound that retains the properties of that compound. In chemistry, these molecules are very simple and small, and they can retain their properties independently. Look at this molecule of water. It consists of 2 hydrogen and oxygen. Look at this oxygen molecule. These are bound together like 2 balloons. And hydrogen can also exist in this. What I'm trying to say is that this molecule can exist independently in nature. ये ऑक्सीजन हवा में उड़ रही है अकेले धके, alone, isolated form में, अलग अलग उड़ रही है. Hydrogen is also present in air. Different gases are present in air separately, independently, and they are simple. समझ आई? लेकिन a biomolecule is different. In organisms, biomolecules do not exist in isolated form, rather they make complex structures. See? ये है isolated form, अकेला अकेला exist करना. Isolate means अकेला, अलग थलग. Separately ये exist कर सकते हैं, हवा में उड़ रहे हैं अलग अलग. But biomolecule cannot exist अलग अलग, separately in air or anyway. Look at the diagram here. I will tell you what are these 3 biomolecules. but they are complex. This is the diagram of myoglobin, the top one. कितना कॉम्प्लेक्स है ये, यहाँ पर बहुत सारे अमीनो एसिड्स टुगेदर इज मेकिंग एल्ब्यूमिन. ये एल्ब्यूमिन प्रोटीन इन एल्ब्यूमिन प्रोटीन इन नेचर है. और ये वाला दिस ब्लू रेड कॉम्बिनेशन इज हीमोग्लोबिन, ये भी प्रोटीन इन नेचर है. और दिस वन इज एल्ब्यूमिन, ये मायोग्लोबिन था. दिस वन इज एल्ब्यूमिन, ये भी प्रोटीन है. एंड दिस इज आल्सो मेड अप ऑफ अमीनो एसिड्स. आई रिपीट, these are all biomolecules, different biomolecules. आपकी बुक में इनकी एग्जांपल्स नहीं लिखी हुई, तो आपने ये प्लीज एग्जांपल्स लिख लेनी है जो मैंने आपको बायोमोलिक्यूल में पढ़ानी है. What I'm trying to say is that biomolecules do not exist in isolated form, rather they make these complex structures. These are made up of long chains of amino acids, especially proteins. So biomolecule is a complex structure. It cannot exist alone. It is not a very small, simple structure. They are combining through ionic and covalent bonding and make a complex structure. Such stable structure is called as biomolecule. So let me tell you these examples one by one. Hemoglobin, this one, red and blue structure of chains is hemoglobin, and it is made up of 4 different chains, 2 red and 2 blue chains. And it is a very big structure. इसमें ऐसे नहीं, इसमें हजारों एलिमेंट्स हैं. यहाँ पर अगर आप पीछे देखें तो इसमें 3 एलिमेंट्स हैं, 2 हाइड्रोजन एंड 1 ऑक्सीजन, और इसमें सिर्फ 2 एलिमेंट है. एंड दे कैन एग्जिस्ट अलोन इन एयर. बट यहाँ पर हजारों एलिमेंट्स हैं और कॉम्प्लेक्स स्ट्रक्चर बना रहे हैं. तो बायोमोलिक्यूल अकेले एग्जिस्ट नहीं कर सकते. दे मेक कॉम्प्लेक्स स्ट्रक्चर्स. लाइक दिस वन इज हीमोग्लोबिन, द टॉप वन इज मायोग्लोबिन. ये भी देखिए हेलिकल चेन्स हैं, सो मेनी ब्लू हेलिकल चेन, लाइट ग्रीन, ब्राउन, रेड चेन, ग्रीन चेन. अच्छा, नेचर में इनके कलर्स नहीं होते, बट जस्ट टू टेल यू इजीली कलर्स दिए जाते हैं डायग्राम्स में ताकि समझा जा सके. नेचर में कलर्स नहीं होते. And this diagram, the last one, is the brown chains, is bottom one, is of albumin. This protein is present in egg white. So look at so many chains. I'm amazed. So biomolecule, I wind up is a complex structure, consists of many chains, consists of many thousand elements, and then it makes a stable structure, right? This is what a biomolecule is. You have to learn this definition, the top one, and the examples. You have to mention it in the exams. Book में examples नहीं है. अब क्लास में मैं डायग्राम थोड़ी रफ सी बनाती होती हूँ हीमोग्लोबिन की, बट अब आपको पिक्चर्स भी दिखा दी गई हैं. समटाइम्स आई ओपन गूगल इमेजेस इन क्लास, इन अ नॉर्मल रेगुलर क्लास, बट यहाँ पर आपको दिखाया जा रहा है साथ साथ. तो इट्स आई थिंक मच बेटर, बट लाइव क्लास का अपना मजा है. Let's talk about other things of biomolecule. Beta, please. An organism is formed by enormous number of biomolecules of hundreds of different types. Any one organism, let's talk about human, is made up of many different types of biomolecules. Hundreds of different types. These molecules are building material. Any proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, vitamins, or kya? Ions even are building us. So these biomolecules, proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, vitamins are making our structure in a great variety and complexity. जब मैं कहती हूँ proteins, तो नेचर में सिर्फ एक किस्म की प्रोटीन तो नहीं है. There are thousands of different proteins and carbohydrates and lipids which join together in a great variety and complexity to make an organism. ठीक है? तो this is the second part. Now, biomolecules are classified as macromolecules and micromolecules. Macro means bigger, micro means smaller. Macromolecules are with high molecular weight and micromolecules are with low molecular weight. The examples of macromolecules are starch, proteins, lipids. जो अभी मैं proteins की examples दे रही थी, These are the category of macromolecules. Starch is a carbohydrate. Lipid means fats. You have heard these categories of food: lipid, fats, and protein, and carbohydrates. So we are giving those examples. These are biomolecules. And what are micromolecules among biomolecules? Like glucose, water, etc. You have also heard of this word water and glucose so much, quite often. These are examples of micromolecules. But I gave you an example of water in molecular level. तो माइक्रोमोलिक्यूल में आ रहा है ये वर्ड, बट चलें आप ऑक्सीजन और हाइड्रोजन को तो कंसिडर कर सकते हैं ना, वेरी सिंपल मॉलिक्यूल. But mostly biomolecules are complex and stable and are made up of different kind of uh, chains and helical structures and things like that, right? So ये हमारा हो गया molecular level. पहला हमने पढ़ा subatomic and atomic level, then we studied molecular level. Now we will move to, I haven't turned it as third. I'm sorry, this is our third level, which is called as organelle and cell level. Here I'm going to tell you about organelle, and I'm also going to tell you about cell. What is an organelle? This is all about organelle and cell level, and then we will talk about other levels in our next lecture. So let's focus on organelle level. Biomolecules assemble in a particular way and form organelles. अच्छा, पिछला level से ही अगला level शुरू होता है ना. Atoms combine in a particular way to make molecule. Molecules assemble in a good way or in a particular fashion and then make organelles. Organelles assemble together to make cell, right? So यहाँ पर biomolecules combine करेंगे मुख्तलिफ, तो मुख्तलिफ organelle बनेंगे. For example, different kind of organelle biomolecules assemble together to make mitochondria. Here, मुख्तलिफ structure की चीजें मिलकर न्यूक्लियस बनाएंगी. Here, ठीक है. कॉमन सेंस है कि डिफरेंट बायोमोलिक्यूल्स होंगे. डिफरेंट कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ बायोमोलिक्यूल assemble and will make Golgi complex. This one is Golgi complex, bottom one. This middle one, green one, is chloroplast. You might have heard of chloroplast in plants. So chloroplast is an organelle which is going to combine by the combination of different biomolecules. Okay. Now this one, the bottom right corner diagram, is of nucleus and endoplasmic reticulum. I'm talking about rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. This is an organelle which we will discuss later on in 4th chapter. अभी मैं उसकी detail में नहीं जाऊंगी. But this is an organelle which has ribosomes attached on its surface. तो हम इसको कहते हैं rough endoplasmic reticulum. And this one is the endoplasmic reticulum which has no ribosomes attached on it. So it is called as smooth, surface is smooth. So it is called as smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Its surface is smooth, whatever. What I'm trying to say is that it is a different organelle. So it is assembled by a different combination of biomolecules. तभी वो organelle बन रहा है. The organelles are actually subcellular structures. Subcellular means cell के अंदर के structures. जैसे हम कहते हैं ना heading, subheading. Subheading is present within the heading ना. I'm sorry. Here, subcellular structures means things present within the cell. So within the cell are mitochondria, nucleus, chloroplast, Golgi complex, endoplasmic reticulum. All of these different kind of organelles assemble together to make a unit of life, which is called as cell. So यहाँ पर ये बात याद रखिएगा that cell is the unit of life. कभी कभी कहते हैं ना, what is the unit of our building? तो हम क्या कहते हैं? Brick. What is the building block of most of the buildings? Brick. So the building block of organisms is cell, unit of life. Cell is a unit of life, building block of organisms. Cell combines, assemble by the different combination of organelles. like mitochondria, Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum, rough endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, chloroplast, centriole. We are going to study about these structures later on in fourth chapter. We are going to study their detail. Okay? अच्छा ये तो हो गया ऑर्गेनील. आगे क्या मैंने ऑर्गेनील के बारे में बताना है? It is like each type of organelle is specialized to perform a specific function. हर organelle different function perform कर रहा है. If I talk about mitochondria, इसका function और है. If I talk about endoplasmic reticulum, इसका function और है. If I talk about ribosomes, इसका function different है. Like mitochondria is involved in cellular respiration. वो जो हम बचपन से पढ़ते हुए आ रहे हैं, respiration, inhaling oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide, but reaction of respiration, the famous one, glucose reacts with oxygen and breaks down into carbon dioxide and water and energy is released, right? That thing happens in mitochondria. And ribosomes, ये जो एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम के ऊपर छोटे छोटे बॉल्स अटैच, छोटी छोटी डॉट्स हैं, यहाँ पर मैं बोल रही हूँ. These are called as ribosomes and they are involved in protein synthesis. हमसा बेटे में मामा लेक्चर रिकॉर्ड कर रही हैं. हेलो नहीं करो. शो मी. आओ मैं आपको YouTube पे ले जाऊँ. ये कहाँ चली गई हो बेटे? ये कहाँ चले गए हो? आओ ना YouTube पे ले जाऊँ. ठीक है. You're so smart. खुद ही YouTube पे चला गया and he is just 3 years old. So I have to keep him busy, not to interfere during the lecture. अच्छा तो ribosomes are involved in protein synthesis. So these are all organelles, different organelles assembled together to form cell. Now let's talk about cell. Cell is a level of organization which is formed by a combination of different organelles. It is accomplished by these specialized structures. And every structure is performing different function, which is called as division of labor. Let me explain. The cell is performing or following the phenomena of division of labor. And what is division of labor? घर में जैसे अम्मी, our mother divide the chores. Not every mother, but जब आप थोड़े से बड़े हो जाते हैं, तो chores are being divided. For example, your brother is bringing yogurt and all the grocery stuff, small grocery stuff from the market, and one of the sister is making chapatis, another sister is making washing utensils, and your mother is making salan or any kind of dish, and your another sister is making or another brother is cleaning the home. So your mother divides the chores in the house, which is called as division of labor. But in house, our chores are being exchanged on daily basis. कभी कोई कर रहे होते हैं, कभी कोई काम कर रहे होते हैं, but यहाँ पर ऐसे नहीं है. In cell, mitochondria is performing different function. Nucleus is performing different function. Golgi complex is performing different function. Lysosome, some other function. So all these chores or work is divided, and this is called as division of labor. Cell is following the principle of division of labor, right? So this is what a cell is. It's a combination of different organelles, but there are different organizations in cell. One of the organization is unicellular, second is multicellular, third is colonial organization. You might have heard these organizations of unicellular organisms. As the name shows, unicellular means, uni means single, cellular means cell. Single cell organisms. There are certain organisms which live independent life only by only having a single cell. The entire organism is of single cell, mostly prokaryotes and protists. Now the thing is that you are not familiar with prokaryotes and protists. Acha, in a very easy way, prokaryotes are the one which does not have a proper nucleus. या आप यूं भी कह सकते हैं, इजी वर्जन ये है कि पूरी दुनिया के बैक्टीरिया आर अमंग प्रोकैरियोट्स। तो बैक्टीरिया में प्रॉपर न्यूक्लियस नहीं होता, डीएनए फ्लोट कर रहा होता है। They do not have a nucleus, proper nucleus. They have just DNA floating. तो पूरी दुनिया के prokaryotes are single-celled organisms. And what are protists? अच्छा, there is a whole kingdom protista जो हम थर्ड चैप्टर में पढ़ेंगे। मैं आपको बता देती हूँ कि आपने अमीबा, पैरामीशियम, यूग्लिना ये शायद पढ़े हो, स्पेशली अमीबा। It is also a single-celled organism, but it has a proper nucleus. Amoeba has a proper nucleus. So there are organisms in nature which exist only a single cell. Okay? Now the next category is of multicellular organization. As the name shows, multi means many, cellular means cell. So they are the ones who consist of many cells, like animals, like plants, like us. We are also among animals, okay? We are not superior beings. Although, yes, we are superior in the terms of intelligence, but humans are also considered in animals, in biology, in zoology. बच्चे अक्सर कहते हैं मैडम हम तो एनिमल नहीं हैं। भाई हम भी एनिमल हैं, but we are in kingdom Animalia and we are in mammals, and but we are some of the superior mammals. That's it. Superior not in sense of um, superior features or things like that. हमारी कुछ जो हैं evolution के लिहाज से we are superior. We have much better genes and intelligence and things like that. Okay. So most of the fungi are also multicellular. Okay, they are, so all these organisms can be up to of trillions of cells. Not fungi, but animals and plants. But there are certain fungi which are also made up of trillions of cells. Right? There is another organization called as colonial organization. In this case, the organisms are living in a colony. कॉलोनी मीन्स लाइक जैसे कहते हैं ना कि ये बहरिया कॉलोनी है और ये पता नहीं कौन सी कॉलोनी और ये कौन सी कॉलोनी, उसी तरह से। बट हेयर द कॉलोनी इज ऑफ सिंगल सेल्स. नाउ दे आर सिंगल सेल्स, they are independent as a single living cell, but living together in a colony makes it a different organization. Although every cell is performing its own function, every cell, but रहते कैसे, मिल के रहते हैं, काम अपना अपना करते हैं. So this is another organization which is called as colonial organization. आपकी बुक में इस तरह से डिवीजन नहीं हुई लास्ट पैरा की, और उसमें colonial organization का मेंशन नहीं है. तो what are you going to do? You are going to turn the last paragraph into these three headings, and you are going to divide the organelle and cell level आराम से जैसे मैंने किया है. You are going to even express the examples in this way. सारा बुक है, एक भी वर्ड में ऐड नहीं करती, because I just limit myself to book, and then I add different examples and I add anything verbally. अगर कोई चीज़ ज़रूरत होती है तो मैं बता देती हूँ कि मैंने ये ऐड किया है. But this is all about your book and the diagrams are added. तो आप इस सारे को, इस सारी चीज़ों को आप इसी तरह से जैसे मैंने अलग अलग लिखा है लिख सकते हैं. ये एक फ़ायदा है ऑनलाइन लेक्चर्स का कि आपको तकरीबन नोट्स मिल रहे हैं, बट आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू गिव इट टू यू लाइक वर्ड नोट्स और लेक्चर्स. आई डोंट लाइक क्या कहते हैं, स्पून फीडिंग. ऑल्दो इट इज स्पून फीडिंग, क्लास में कभी भी मैं नोट्स नहीं देती, बिकॉज आई प्रेफर कि आप खुद डिवीजन करें, आप नोट डाउन करें एग्जाम्पल्स, आप नोट डाउन करें कि मैम किन किन कैटेगरीज में और हेडिंग्स में पढ़ा रही हैं. सो गर्ल्स, this is all about our lecture. ठीक है, I'm going to proceed in the next lecture about other levels of organization. Kindly study it, repeat it, and understand these concepts before we move to the next level. It's ताकि आपकी understanding better हो. You're going to understand more if you're going to repeat and understand it well. Allah Hafiz for now.